Welcome back to the Mountain Morning Show. I could not be more happy than to see my friends become friends. That's always a good thing, right? You want to introduce people together. I didn't have any responsibility for this at all. I'd like to take credit for it, but it's not the case. But I'm thrilled to have from NAC, the CEO, Gail Brail, who's here, and also Bob Henson, who joins us from the Board of Directors for Explore. Welcome, both of you, to the show.
Thank you.
Thanks. Hey, I think you can take some credit. It's good
people.
Bring in good people. So,
right?
Yeah.
We've all been friends, right? Well, as I always say that you know, you can we can well, really, I shouldn't say I said it. This is really more of Ben Franklin. We can hang together, we can hang separately, right? And we're definitely hanging together. We got a good group here. And first of all, I want to congratulate you on an incredible year the NAC had. It was impressive. I was at the gala event, and one of the finest you've put on. I remember, and it wasn't that long ago when it was like 40 of us, right, all in one room.
Right.
Yeah, and now at that event there was what, 800, more than 800 people, I think. Didn't you say?
Throughout the weekend at Red, White, and Snow, there was probably 800 to 1,000.
That's amazing.
About 330 at the gala, but we're trying. I mean, I think that's. Right, we have a great mission, we have a great need, and that's one of the reasons why we're joining with Explore, and the different things that we're doing is that we have a capacity issue. There are far more individuals that want to get connected to us because we have great outcomes that come from our programs. They're more engaged with their families, there's more opportunities for them to be out and recreate and be healthy, and so gosh, we only have a campus of 26 acres. What are you going to do? We were looking to kind of expand and say, how do we get folks outdoors more and off our campus? And
especially summertime, yeah.
Yeah, we started talking to Explore. Well, summer, winter, whatever. They've got great activities, and now coming together, we benefit all of our participants from both organizations because they can do more.
Indeed. Well, you know, the thing about Explore we should talk about for a moment. And the National Ability Center, of course, really a huge amount of focus on our vets and people who come back with injuries there. Not to mention so many people who have had them, you know, congenitally to begin with. But we take that and then we mix it with people who have maybe live in the valley, who've not thought about going out, have not thought about recreating, but wanted to with their family, but couldn't because of some sort of a disability there. And Explore really focused on that. You kind of bring these two together. There's not a ton of overlap.
No.
And just a lot of great ways to help each other.
There's a perfect overlap in our values and mission.
Exactly.
In fact, you could put them side by side. You could hardly tell the difference other than they're more a global perspective from NAC.
Right.
But we're really excited about, we probably have 15 or 18 activities and locations, including the river operation in Moab. And we add their 25 or 30 activities. You know, there's hardly anything outdoors that we're not able to cover for our clients.
Wow.
Exciting stuff.
I'll say. Now, we've got a video clip that I want to take a look at that gives us a little bit of a heads up on all of that, and we'll talk about it some more. But let's take a look at that right now. Working here at Park City Television, I can say we know a little bit about putting together videos. I'm impressed. You guys do a great job.
That does not get you to want to get outdoors.
Right?
Yeah.
What will?
Yeah, exactly.
Let me add something to that. It wasn't, quote, professionally done. It was done by her marketing director.
Well, it's tremendous.
First time I saw it about 2 weeks ago, I think, Gail, they brought it down. And I've seen it twice, and every time I tear up. It's such a perfect representation of what we're going to do together. I love it.
You get a little emotional about it, and well said. There's a lot of reason to do that because, and I remember this from one of my vet friends who had a disability. Who he said to me, he said, "Joe, I thought I knew about getting outside, and I thought I knew how important it was to me until I got injured. He said, and from that point forward, he said, not only did I start to get outside more because of what I was doing with NAC, but I do more of the things outside, which is why this partnership makes so much sense, because now that expands that even more.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, Uintas are so close to us, and we were not accessing that. We didn't quite have the equipment. There's an incredible yurt that Splore has brought into our fold so that we have the opportunity to take folks out either for the day to that yurt or overnight trips.
Ooh.
I mean, it's all right here, and we just needed a little bit of a help, the expertise and the equipment that the team from Splore brings to make that happen. So working together, it's awesome.
Yeah, I'll say. I want to talk a little bit about you know, the mission of Splore, because you know, we've certainly talked about NAC a little bit here in the past. We haven't had you here on the program for a while. So talk about what Splore's mission has been over the last 10 years.
Okay. Well, I'll start with this. This is our 40th anniversary this year.
Wow.
It started with a woman named Martha Ham in Moab, and she saw that people with all abilities weren't getting the opportunity for the river, so she partnered with a river group, Kinslight, and that started Splore. And for many years, it was only in Moab, and then we realized that there was all kind of opportunities here on the Wasatch Front and the Uintas. And so, for the last 10 years or so, we've been building probably a new activity a year.
Wow!
And it is for the same population that you've talked to and Gail's talked to. We have a lot of vets, not nearly as many as NAC. A lot of people with severe physical disabilities, and also the cognitive disabilities. And we work with refugees and underserved and underprivileged. So we have quite a range of folks that we work with, mostly kids, I would say, and feel very good about their growth personally. And in many cases, it's the first time they've been able to get outdoors and do something. And just to see the smiles when they're climbing the face of a mountain or on paddle boards that they would never have the opportunity to do. Little things like that just mean so much to us at Splore.
You mentioned those things as little, but the truth of it is that when those young people get out for those first times, and we see this especially among the underprivileged, that it changes their attitude towards life, even to the point of their grades improve, their ability to go on to college improves. There are numbers out there and statistics that prove that getting outside is the catalyst to an improved life. That is one of the big reasons why you guys do what you do, and wow, wildly successful.
I think that's, again, one of the ways that we are so similar. Our focus isn't necessarily on the sport. Gosh, we hope you become a better skier, and we hope that you love rafting and all those great opportunities. And for some of our Paralympic athletes, for sure, we're showing progression. But really, we're about self-esteem, self-confidence, life skills, that connection about how are we preparing you, how are we building resilience and confidence for your lifetime.
Yeah, and just facing some of those issues. We talk about the equine part of it. I've had a little familiarity with that, and here's the thing: you can't lie to a horse. Right. A horse knows.
He knows for
in
sure.
a second if you're not being honest with yourself. Alone, let alone talking to a counselor. And the great news is, if you get out with those equines, you're going to face some of these problems. Things start to diminish, and you start to move forward in your life again. That is another thing that you guys bring. So as we talk about this, and we talk about these transferable skills, these things that turn lives around, we look at, obviously, as you mentioned, the everyday part of that. But for some, it means the Huntsman Cup. It means going on to the next level.
Yeah, so we've got the Huntsman Cup coming up. It's a huge race for us that brings in athletes from around the country that are Paralympic level athletes. So we're not too far off from the next Paralympic Games. This is the last big Huntsman before that, and it's February 7th through 10th. So we always invite our local community to come out and see elite athletes of differing abilities. Really interesting to watch how they make it down the mountain, but really also just inspiring and amazing. I mean, frankly, they kick my butt, as I'm sure they kick your butt, everybody's butt.
I tried to keep up with them to film, and it's next to impossible. Yeah. I thought I was fast until I got behind a Paralympian.
Yeah.
And I'm not fast. So we have that, of course, and we want that support. We want people to go out and support them. As you'll see people that you'll see in the Paralympics, the growth of that has been remarkable. We see greater coverage on NBC, which will be even more this next time around.
Oh, the Paralympic movement is just so cool. It's one of the reasons I ended up at the National Ability Center after volunteering at the Vancouver Games. And it's not just about winning that medal. It's about changing perception in countries all around the world about what your abilities are and what you can do and how important it is to be accessible and inclusive as a community and as a world community.
Yeah, we're taking people who otherwise in some countries would be shunned and moving them to the top of that world. That is awesome.
Just like any other sport, they may not hit the elite level, but there's a huge impact that happens to everyone within that community.
All right, we have just another moment. I want to talk about Red, White, and Snow.
Yeah, another year. Whew.
It's coming up here relatively soon. When and where?
It's March 2nd through 4th. It's all mostly up here. There are a couple of vintner dinners in the Salt Lake Valley, thanks to the support of Explore getting our awareness down there. But there are 4 different events. We welcome you to come check them out and go visit our website, discovernac.org. That will link to Red, White, and Snow. It's an awesome party. It's the opportunity to enjoy great food, great wine for a great cause.
Yeah, we got some great, as you say, great vintners coming in from all over. Always a tremendous opportunity to not only enjoy the great food, but the company of great people. Explore, a great accompaniment to the National Ability Center. If we want more information on Explore, where do we go?
You can go to NAC's website or our sport.org, either one, because we're cross-listed now, as it were. So.
I love it. My friends are coming together. All of our friends are, and that means more of our friends on the mountains and in the mountains, participating in so many great activities that are going to change lives. That is what the NAC and Explore are all about. Together, a dynamic duo. Much more happening here on the Mountain Morning Show as we return after these messages.